Jam. But tonight we're doing something different. We're doing the Gold Coast Muso's Jam chat, so which is completely interactive. So welcome. So if you do want to get on and have a chat, if you have attended the jam, etc., make sure you send a message to Tony or Steve or on the actual Gold Coast Muso's Jam page, which would be awesome. This is where it's been hosted. So, what have you been up to, Tony?
Me? Well, I've actually been doing a lot around the house. A few renovations and
It's very musical.
Yeah, very musical. Yeah, I haven't picked up the bass like I've been, suggested. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. But I'm keeping myself busy doing a bit of a reno at home, and things are coming together and going really well. So, I've been trying to keep myself busy. I've been ringing a few people over the last few days just to try and keep in touch and make some contact and, let everyone know how much I miss them all,
Very good. Very good.
The worst thing about the Gold Coast Muso's Jam being put on hiatus at the moment is that, I miss the music, but I miss the people more. And for me, that's what's been the worst part of the lockdown is that, I just don't get to see the people that I love so much. And
Right.
That's my thing.
All right.
But,
we might.
How do you feel about all this, Steve? What have you been doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Hey, I know where that one came from.
Thanks, brother.
I've been doing that with espresso martinis.
So, sorry, just before Steve starts, we've just got a few more people watching. So if you do want to come online and join the chat and come and do your 5-minute spiel, please message the Gold Coast Muso's Jam page, and Tony's monitoring it, or just send me a message across the thing here, and we'll send you a link to get you on. So, sorry, Steve, what else have you been doing besides Scotch?
Mate, I can't play guitar because of doctor's orders. I've still got this, Fandangly fashion and accessory for Gumbies. So
looks like you've been doing Doug's movements.
So I actually dusted the keyboard off. Haven't played it for over 3 years.
Oh, really?
And, mate. Yeah. So I've just started playing that, and slowly renovating the music room.
Yep.
So just cruising, mate. Look, it's really frustrating because I see all these guys that we know playing on the internet, especially the Pub with No Fear and Lockdown Mike, and yet I'm surrounded by guitars, amplifiers, and music equipment every day, day in, day out, and I can't pick one up. so yeah, it's a bit frustrating.
And what about Doug Marsden? How you going, man?
Yeah, pretty good. Not doing anything particularly organised, trying to get some structure around my life, but playing my guitar a lot. So every day I'll put aside a couple of hours just to practice and rehearse, and I was getting a bit bored with myself, so I've started doing more and more backing tracks, playing along with backing tracks. Just doing that today, which is good because you haven't got other guitarists to fight over and everything else like that. So you can have as long as you want and as hard as you want. So I do all that all week, and then in the weekend I like to relax by picking up a guitar and playing that for a little while. And it's all pretty easy at the moment. I'm missing the jam. I'm a bit like Tony. I'm missing just meeting people, seeing people, being in a crowd, performing, all of that sort of stuff. So it's all good.
Right. It's the people and the music. I think it's been it's a big part of our life. It has been for a long time, and to have it taken away, you feel a bit lost for a little while.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, besides just doing this jam chat that's happening right now, what else do you think people could do to stay in touch with each other to, keep the scene alive, per se, off the stage?
Well, mate, the good thing about having Facebook and Instagram and whatever else you want to use.
Carol.
Hello, Carol.
And most of the guys we know all have our contact details, so they can always contact us when they want to.
Yep.
But mate, yeah, the internet is amazing. So, and I seen a post 5 minutes ago before we got on that Queensland actually relaxed their visiting laws, so now 2 people can visit someone's house as long as they're close friends or relatives. So, looks like we can start jamming again in small quantities.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, even if we can get 3 people in the one room, then we can just have a little bit of a jam happening, you know.
Exactly.
And you know, maybe even adding people in so that they can perhaps jam along with us.
Yeah, well, I'm still investigating technology that can actually support live jamming in Australia. Look, I'm sure there are software that can do it, but the only thing that restricts us is the bandwidth. Because if I start counting and you start counting, it'll be in time. But because there's a delay from me to you, there's also another delay from you to me, and I think it's about 100 milliseconds, which is it's not very good.
Jazz.
If you want to play jazz. Fair enough. But I'm just reminding people, if you would like to get on, please actually put a comment. You can type in there. It's completely interactive today, so please type a comment. I've just put one up. If you'd like to get on, send a message to, or maybe even just type it up, say you want to get on, and that Tony will send you a link. So have you guys been keeping in touch with the venue? Because that's probably a good point. Both venues, because they were supporting you rather well.
Well, I haven't been in touch with the venues.
There's always next week. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, it's just knowing whether or not they're actually working, because you know the venues are closed. So I don't know to what degree they're closed. Whether the admin people are still involved, I suppose we'll find out by making that call.
Yeah, fair enough. And what do you think, Doug? What do you think people can do to?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be hard because the venues are. Excuse my dog. The venues are closed as well, so they're going to be struggling. I've been finding the conversations you've been having with pro musicians around the place really interesting, and just seeing what they're doing to keep relevant. I think the word that they use a lot, which is a good word, how they keep relevant to their audience, let alone to their customers, if you like. And I think some of that stuff is still worth pursuing. I mean, our band was just sort of starting to get itself together, so we don't have that fan base or anything, but we're still talking about it. Doesn't mean we have to stop, right? You can still keep pursuing and maybe spend the time trying to do some of the stuff you wouldn't normally do, which is focus more on originals or focus more on, like the business side of life and all that sort of style of thing. So it's about trying to capitalize on the situation we're in, rather than sitting there saying, woe is me and it's all shit and we've got to wait for someone else to sort it out for us.
Yeah, all right. And Angie Cray, if you're listening, do you want to please send us a message and we'll get you on? Send us a message and Tony will send you the link, Angie Cray. I think that's a good point. But Steve, do you want to add anything to that about the venues? How can we support the venues in times like these?
Oh, look, mate. Actually, it's funny. Like I usually speak to Antoinette often enough, but I haven't done it for a little while. And the funny thing is, I only think about actually sending a message in the last couple of days just to see how she's going, let alone the business side of it, just a personal message. I think for us, mate, it's just to constantly advertise the people that look after us. We have 2 amazing venues. They're great to work with, and they support and love what we actually do. And hopefully, after all this, the dust settles, we'll be able to get back to where we where we left off. But I think a big thing, man, is support the people that support you. So for us, as far as the Muso Jam goes, I think we need to actually start to just mention the venues on a regular basis.
Yeah, because Rob Rhodes, great muso, he actually had a very good point. Is about, even though he's doing some live streaming from home, he's still tagging the event of the venue. Sorry, he's still tagging the venue when he's doing his event at home of where he would have been playing, because he says that, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you keep supporting them now, because the businesses are doing it hard too, just go use the drive-through, the deliveries, takeaways for the bistro or whatever. Keep them in business, because if we don't support them now as well, there'll be nowhere to play when things get good.
Later. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was interesting listening to your other live feeds during the week, Doug, and some of
Hey,
the
Will. Yeah.
some of the comments were about, you know, whether or not some venues are going to actually be still involved. And I think the one really great thing about, especially Saltwater Creek, being a
Yep.
privately owned pub, they're not under the banner of the corporate Coles or Woolworths, who are directed as to what they can and can't do. We're still got this great communication happening, the great association with the Saltwater Creek Hotel, and I believe that, you know, if anything, you know, it could come back even bigger and stronger, just because of the fact that that decision is held in house, and they're not governed by corporate bodies who might decide that some venues may not go back to music or whatever. I really hope that doesn't happen, but
Yeah.
you know, one thing about saltwater is I think we're going to be pretty secure there. So that's something to really look forward to. And I was discussing with Doug Marson the other night about it, and we think that the opportunity is there to grow a bigger community, because there might be a lot of musicians out there that may not be getting gigs anymore and might want to come and play somewhere with other good players, and that's what we have a reputation for. So hopefully, you know, it'll come back bigger and stronger, especially our particular event. Obviously, you know, we want everyone to be able to get back to where they were, and we need those venues that you know, quite often are corporately owned by Coles or Woolworths to get back into the game.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and I think that I mean,
Hey,
I think
Chris.
Hey, Chris, how you go, man? I think everyone's doing it tough. So, what ideas then maybe we can, before anyone jumps on. So, just reminding anyone, if you would like to join the chat today, please have a look at the scrolling list. I have published the link. If you click the link, you can click. You click on the link. That's what happens if you click the link, and then you'll come backstage here, and I'll be able to get you on for a little quick chat, 5 minutes, and then we'll probably boot you off, I guess. But so let's talk about what's happening now with entertainment. So it's all gone online completely. So if we go around, maybe start with you, Steve. Have you seen anything really cool from the people that have been coming to the jam that they've been publishing online?
Mate, I've seen a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, Kelly Penny, amazing. He's just an amazing entertainer, and you, mate, you yourself.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Although I know your repertoire back to front.
Yeah. Oh well, rock and roll.
Yeah, it's all good, mate. Yeah, look, the thing about Debbie Martin, like the Pub with No Fear, man, like that is just amazing, absolutely amazing. I think they've got 3,000. I think they said they've got now people on the page, and the quality of musicianship is phenomenal. So, yeah, I think that's a great thing. Unfortunately, I understand that the whole idea is that if you really like the act,
Hello, Jenny Marie.
By sending them some money.
I shouldn't hear if I've got the headphones on.
I actually hope that some of the artists actually are receiving some sort of income from it.
Right.
Because realistically, mate, like I know for me, I don't do it for the money. I know Tony doesn't. I'm guessing Doug doesn't. And because it's not, although it's my first income, um, yeah, for me, I do it because I just enjoy playing.
Yep.
I love
Creative
to be able-
outlet.
Yeah, mate, and I get a really big kick when people actually enjoy what we actually do. So,
Yep.
if people start to tap their feet or smile, clap, or dance, like for me, it's about making people forget about the worries that they've got for that brief moment.
Right.
On.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's good. We've just got our first visitor. We got Bergie backstage. So, Bergie, you got 5 minutes if you want to tell us how you're going. So, here we go. We'll just drop him in. Hey, Bergie.
G'day, how you going?
Hey,
Hey,
brother. Krusty. Woo.
What's happening, people? I'm
How are you, mate?
bored. I'm bored shitless, eh?
At least you're honest.
Oh, mate.
So, what have you been missing about the jam?
Oh, just playing with other people. Or, to be honest, not watching my son play, to be honest. But now I just want to play myself, like get up and play as well. And the cyber thing only fills so much of the gap. You know what I mean? It's don't get me wrong. This cyber thing is brilliant because without it, mate, you got nothing. And
Right.
I got to admit the conversations you've been having with some of your mates on this have been like, mate, really deep. Really good. Really spot on. It's very interesting just to sit there and listen to.
Thank you, sir.
What these guys get up to beyond, I play in, a weekend bash tribute band, you know what I mean? And some of your mates are just like that. Next couple of steps up the ladder well and truly, and to listen to how they deal with life, like the music life, and that is very interesting,
Yep. Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah, it's been very informative, Doug. That's probably I probably haven't been listening to concerts or anything like that online, but definitely your videos and what you're doing is filling in a lot of gaps for people that don't know too much about how the industry really works. And that's one thing that COVID's done is it's brought it out to the attention to everyone. And you provided the opportunity for people to be able to learn about it, which is awesome, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, man. You're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's not just about the industry itself, but it's how these guys, as professionals, are actually dealing with the current situation. So, for us, it's food for thought.
Yep.
Yeah,
because
It's good network. It's good networking, even though we aren't involved, but just to sit there watching and listening is great networking, I reckon.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we got Will backstage there, so will get you on in a second. But well, there we go. Dogs in the house. Who let the dogs out? Good song. I think it. We got someone else here. There. I might just get Will on if you want to say g'day for 20 seconds. But just before that, I think one thing that came up in my chats with Scott Watman was Roger Taylor and Brian May are like doing these videos. Like Roger Taylor's giving drum lessons. Like at the end of the day, at the end of the day, every muso's in the same boat. Like no crowds means no work. So you got to do what you got to do. But I might just get. Sorry, you go, Tony.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think it's
Peter.
Good to hear the perspective of musicians working basically full time in the industry.
Yeah,
and,
right.
I suppose we get a little bit focused on the jam and our Jamily and all the people that come to the jam and how they're progressing in their music, but to actually see other people that are playing professionally all the time and making a living out of it, and how they're coping with it has been very informative as well, mate.
Yeah, very good. Well, we just say g'day to Will. Oh,
Hey, Will.
Hey, everyone. Hey.
So
is my mic working? Yeah.
It is.
Awesome. I haven't used it before.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. So I actually know Will quite well. So he's actually my cousin. So he's used to play in a punk band. So
awesome.
how you going?
Hey, how you doing, everyone?
Yeah, good, mate.
Nice to meet you, Will.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Well, it might just. And then, what have you been playing at all?
Yeah. I'm still playing and writing, and it's best I can do to kill time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can't wait for gigs to start up again, and I like what you guys are doing with the chats and everything all the time. I tune in, keeping an eye on everything. I
Thank you.
reckon what needs to be done at the end of all this is we
Yep.
just need to get together and have a big jam somewhere, like
Better hit Tony up for that.
plaster it all over the media and everything, just get everyone around.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
mate. We'll, I'll try and organise a really long day session at the Saltwater Creek.
Yeah, we need to
Sounds
do
like a
that.
plan.
That's awesome.
Take over the car park, mate. We just need to fucking play off.
All right, when we do that, I'll get the word out as best I can. I'm pretty
Yeah,
out
awesome.
there with it. Yeah.
Well, just
as a celebration for everyone to get back into playing again with us.
Exactly,
with each
that's
other.
what I thought. Re-kick the industry.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, that's-
We'll look into
all
it.
right, Will. I've just got to swap you out for the next dude. If that's cool,
no
man.
problems. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining.
See you, Will.
Pete,
Likewise, have a
standing
good
by.
one.
Well,
See you, Will, man.
Rock on.
See you. Pete.
hey,
you go, sir.
hey.
Peter.
Hey, oh, hey, hello.
Nice
Good,
to see you,
mate.
brother.
Hey.
Geez, mate, that mustache is getting better and better every time I see it, mate. Hey,
Hey,
Fiona.
Hi, how
How are
you?
Yeah, good to see you.
Good, really good.
We're going crazy.
Are you on the boat? Are you on the boat, mate?
We're not allowed, and that's cool. We went out a couple of weeks ago when all of this first started, and
Hey, Jenny.
now that it's don't move anywhere unless it's essential travel, we're just staying at home to do the right thing.
Right. So you can't go fishing, mate. So
Hello, Jenny Marie.
Well, some people are using the fishing one as a bit of an excuse, but the primary instruction is if it's not urgent, don't leave home. So we're just trying to follow that.
So maybe just a direct question with everyone. Does anyone actually know someone personally with COVID?
No,
No,
Bergie does.
Yeah, my niece's granddad died of it.
oh, gee.
Wow. Oh, sorry to hear that. How long ago was that?
He died probably 3
Weeks.
weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
He was
Wow.
he couldn't have got it worse if he tried. He went to Italy on
Oh,
a
no.
skiing trip with my cousin, and that came down sick while he was there. Flew back to England. 2 weeks later, he was gone. Yeah, but how old he been? 70. Yeah, 75.
Yeah. Hey,
Bad.
Hi, Carol.
Bad chest complaints, that sort of stuff. So it sounds like everyone who's normal just gets a really bad cold. But if you're old and you got a predisposition, then you're in trouble. So unfortunately, my little niece's granddad was probably one of the first in England. He was probably one of the first that went in England, actually. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
awful.
So sorry, he was actually in England when he passed away.
Yeah. He was in Italy, and then he flew back and started to feel sick on the plane on the way back, and he was sitting next to my cousin, actually, Simon, and so Simon he actually did the right thing, and he locked his whole family up and this was prior to them going into lockdown in England, and he just said, nah, look, the old bugger's not well, we're not risking it to anyone, and he went like a 3-week lockdown. But unfortunately, the old bugger died, no funeral, no nothing. It's those things I think that'll affect the whole person.
That's a good question. So the funeral, is it just postponed, or is it just not happening?
Well, I suppose once everyone's allowed to mingle again, they'll probably, I suppose, you probably won't have a funeral. You just probably have a big wake. You know what I mean? Like if it's 3 months later, you have the celebration of the man rather than you've done your crying and then you have the celebration. But awful.
Yeah.
Like I knew the guy, and it was awful. Oh, nice bloke.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the worst of this yet.
Right. Do you know someone who's seen worse, Pete?
Well, from what I can gather, in places like New York, where there are geographical hotspots, it's very, very serious, and they're using ice skating rinks to keep people who have died under low temperature to be able to get them into the system. They've got hospitals in Hyde Park, which are tents, and the numbers are still going up. So it's very, very serious. I think Australia could end up being the ultimate survivor island if we can. You know, the great thing about us is we're girt by sea. So once we close the borders, which we have done, and the big problem in Australia has been this stuff coming in from overseas. And even myself, I was overseas earlier this year. And I've been in the room with people that have been overseas too. So there was a high risk for everybody that had been linked with that. But we seem to, at this stage, roughly have it under control. So it will be interesting to watch in Australia to a certain extent, the music industry, because I think the music industry is very, very vulnerable. It's vulnerable at the best of times. You know, it's an art form hanging on. It's a low-hanging fruit art form that hangs on a tree just by a little finger, and supported by so many people like yourself that are passionate about it. But, you know, to make money out of it or to survive with it or to collaborate with people, it's very hard, even without this sort of a drama that's going on. There's going to be several phases to this. One is to get over the virus in Australia, and the second one is to try and get the music industry back up on its feet. Having said that, though, and I'm sorry this is a bit long, one of the things that might be very, very beneficial for people once we can all go out is live music.
Yeah, and I think that you're very important point there about being vulnerable, and maybe Bergie, this might affect yourself, with people spending money on tuition, right? Because the first thing to go with music tuition, that's at the grassroots, right? So we should always look after teenagers per se. That's the next generation. If we don't invest in that, we won't have any new artists to go and see. It'll just be all DJs. So
Mike's like us, mate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you give an opportunity. You guys make an opportunity for weekend warriors to come and play, but who get like Bergie gets to bring his son along, gets to have a jam with his son. So I'm just saying that's at someone. What is it? Dave Ball and Ho Carroll. Hey Dave, I've sent you a link, Dave. So check it out, Dave. I've sent you a link. Yeah, so I'm just saying that's at risk as well, right? Because when time gets tough, the first thing to go is spending money on mentorship.
I tell you what, as a dad, and mate, I don't give a shit where I find my money, mate. The kid will still have his lessons, because this will change. Like eventually all the shit will. Our landscape has changed now. I don't care what anyone says, mate. It has changed in a big way. What it's going to be, we don't know yet, but there's going to be massive change.
Yep.
The kids have got to have something to come back to, or you'll be doing what we're doing now, sitting in front of computers, and that's the thing that shits me. Most of our kids is being in front of a computer all day. You know what I mean? So it's as important as going to school.
Hey Sue. Yeah, well said, Chris.
Yeah,
you got to, and it's the price of self.
I'll say one thing is that what we find with the jam, mate, is we get professional musicians, semi-professional, and we get retired musicians. And a lot of our guys, mate, are getting to the age where we are quite vulnerable to this disease. And it's really funny when someone says, I only fix the old people. But hang on for a minute. We are the old people.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Speak for yourself, man. Come on.
But this is the problem, though. Like we have quite a few people that, we really need to take care of. And, it's really funny. Like Debbie said a little while yesterday, I think in a post where she's quite happy that we are, distancing ourselves because as a performer, she's got patrons in her face all the time. And we do too, mate. Like we're quite close to everybody in the room. So, unfortunate as it is that we can't be together, we just have to for a little while. And like just recently, man, like yesterday, I actually shared a post where a whole bunch of top musicians, all well-known guys, have put a song together and basically states, stay the fuck at home. I fucking love it.
That's good.
And,
that's great.
Yeah.
And so the thing...
No exception.
Yeah, mate, but like I say, fuck man, I miss you, Pete, and I miss all you guys.
Miss you too, Steve. I'm looking a little bit like you, actually.
You just need to grow it a bit longer, Pete.
Yeah, man. Look, I've been in the barbers for a while.
Yeah, no, I cut the hair. Sorry, keep going, Steve. You're doing very, very well.
Sorry. Now I've lost the train of thought.
Well, what you're saying is absolutely right. The musos of our, tender age are quite vulnerable to this. Although I must say, the guys that I see coming along to the jam, a lot of them are reasonably fit and healthy and jolly, and good spirits and a bit of good health will keep you going a long way. But we can't get back together again, and we won't be allowed to until this thing is fairly, fairly safe for us.
Yeah.
They just won't let it happen. And it could be that the loosening of these constraints will be done by age group over a period of time.
Yeah.
So
I just want to, sorry to interject, but those people, we've just gone up in numbers here. If you do want to get on to say hello, please click on the link above in the feed. You need to click on the link above. The best thing about this link is you only need a link, then type your name in, and I'll see you backstage. So if you do that, so Aaron and Sue, if you're there, Angie, you want to jump on? I can't do it for you.
Well, we'll say, man, is that I just remember what I was thinking about.
Oh, congratulations. Have some more scotch,
Sorry.
mate. Have some more scotch.
Yeah. Blame on the scotch. Look, Rob Rhodes just said this. Basically, mate, is that performing on the internet, okay, we still play and we still get to perform, but you don't have the audience interaction. And mate, that's you must be playing to yourself. We are playing to yourself. Like it's and for me as a performer, I bounce off the audience.
You should stop stage diving then, Steve.
Hey, don't worry, mate. Once this elbow's fixed, look out.
Yeah, right.
I really like what Debbie was saying.
you're absolutely right, Steve. You're spot on. Without that human interaction, I mean, I absolutely love it when I get up there and I've got no idea what's going to come next. And I look very calm on the outside, and on the inside, I'm completely shitting myself. And
you and me both, mate.
So
that's how we design
and
it.
it works.
It's about throwing people in the deep end, and that
right.
gives them the opportunity to work a bit harder and become better musicians through the process.
yeah, and what was
I
Doug?
found you a bass
Doug
player,
was going to say
Boogie?
something. Doug, what was Doug going to say?
Doug.
Yeah, Doug.
Oh,
All I
Doug.
was saying was that I like what Debbie was saying the other night, who runs the pub with no fear or whatever, is that once everything goes back to normal or whatever the new normal is, that they're going to shut down those sites so that this isn't the norm, right? This doesn't stay the norm. This is just an interim way to keep face-to-face and keep people's sanity going. And eventually going to get back into, trying to, like Chris was saying earlier, get the kids and everything off the computers and back into seeing real live stuff. I look forward to that.
We just got a question here. This is our first interactive question. It says, is someone going to start playing? It sounds like talkback radio at the moment. Well, you're probably right. That's because
Yes, it is.
we don't have an internet solution to have online jamming that's in real time. So unless you know one, Darren Riley. But you're welcome, Darren, if you want to jump on, man. Jump on and say g'day. Does anyone else want to jump on and say g'day? You have to click on the link. I can't do it for you.
Dr. John,
Yeah.
I have a question for you, and it's more perhaps a statement plus a question. But one of the really interesting things I find about the jam is, like we talked about, there's a little bit of generational there. And, because some of us have been there and done that 1,000 times and been in and out of 1,000 bands, and we know the intricacies of the the human side of the business almost back to front. You can smell it and feel it and taste it. But what I observe is obviously that there's young guys coming through that got no idea of that, and they don't have that experience. do you, Doug, get involved in teaching the sort of dynamics of musicians' relationships and how that can benefit them from a young age going forward? Is that the sort of thing you teach, or is it just
Yeah, absolutely.
CA
So,
minor F and G or something?
yeah. Oh no, I'm actually an MD, a musical director as well. So, Angie has a solution. So, absolutely. I mean, you can't fake chemistry between real musicians, right? So you can learn how to play along to a
No.
drum track, but when a drummer listens to someone playing or whatever, they give more energy, and you push it together. You can't. I don't know. I haven't come across anything that you can do that artificially. But to answer your question, you're quite right. So as a music educator, I can tell straight away when someone hasn't jammed with anyone before, because they're so worried about playing it correct sonically. So even, let's say, a keyboard player will play it, go blah 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 blah, stop, blah 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 blah, and they don't push through this next bit. So this little glass ceiling that's formed as they go, no, sorry, I can't jam because I can't do this quickly. The thing is that, I mean, what happens when you learn to ride a bike? You get on it and you add velocity, and then next thing you know, you've just solved that initial problems. Like, what's going to happen? Am I going to fall over? You got to learn to fly, and you only learn to fly by jumping in the deep end. But to answer your question, with a lot of people learning from YouTube, etc., there's an element you can't fake. So you have to actually spend the time with other musicians to practice active listening. That was the point I was getting to. So I agree with you that that's what YouTube cannot provide, is active listening, because you can be so into what you're doing, and I've seen some great players, as you all have on YouTube. But if you want to do that stuff live, but what if the drummer adds something else, another layer, that being interactive? Is it going to put you off? Probably, if you haven't practiced, active listening. I hope I answered your question anyway.
The thing I find, mate, is that
No, good.
I think the other night, or it might have been Rob Rhodes, or it could have been Johnny. It might have been Johnny. Is that there's too many people imitate. Like you get on YouTube now or Instagram or whatever you want to look at, and all these guys are playing note for note music and solos of other musicians. There's nothing original anymore. There's no original content.
Yeah.
And the problem with those guys is that, they can play what they know note for note, but you stick them in a jam scenario and they're completely and totally lost. It's like they don't understand the basic music theory for a start.
Yep.
And they're in this tunnel vision thing. I love playing with you, mate, because every second there's no idea what's going to come next.
You don't know what's coming. It's part of
Exactly. That's exactly where I am too.
Yeah, over the years at the Jam, we've had a lot of excellent players come to the Jam who can play their music really, really well, but just can't jam with other people because it comes down to that active listening you were talking about, and also just the feel for the song, and stepping outside the note for note boundaries that they've been learning, and experiment with a little lick or bending a note for a little longer instead of putting in 3 notes in between and things like that. And it's feel and listening that, there's to me, there's some absolutely amazing jammers out there. And, like everybody knows that Eddie Capper is probably one of my favourites because he is one of the best field players, the best field players you'll ever hear, and when he's up there with Rodrigo Mercado and Jim Nichols, all of them are intent listeners and real field players. And when they're playing something, it's absolutely magic, But that's not taken away from any other musician at all. It's just that sometimes they're that they're that concentrated on playing to the arrangement that they can't, they don't feel comfortable enough to just let it go and just dive in,
Yeah. Well, we have Sorry to interrupt you, Tony, but Bergie, I
Yeah.
might swap you out as a revolving door if anyone else wants to. I'll just
There,
drop you back.
Bergs.
I know
Lovely to see your ugly face.
Here we go, and we got Azza in. How you going, Azza?
Hey,
Hey.
brother. How are you, man?
So
Good man.
what have you been up to, man? What have you been up to?
Still working, mate.
Still working?
Still working hard. Yeah, working every day. Still... Good man. Good.
Oh, you're gonna have to turn your Facebook off. You're gonna have to turn your Facebook off.
I'm working, mate. What
You have
do
to
I need
Ain't
to do?
too loud.
Someone needs to turn their Facebook off. It's repeating itself. Turn the. There we go.
How's that? There you go.
Perfect. Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Man, I've been working. Been still got my day job, so that's I'm really lucky and appreciate that. A lot of people aren't working because of this. Man, I haven't picked up a guitar for a couple of weeks now. It's really I this weekend's going to be set aside for that, mate. I'm just going to try and do some live stuff and get some stuff on. Have a play around, man. Do what I do, you know. What about you guys, man? How you all?
Yeah,
right.
I'm going all right, mate. Coping with it with my own way, renovating the house instead of touching the music.
Right.
I'm going to definitely utilise the time to get playing bass and playing more bass over the next couple of months, that's for sure, so that when I go to the jam and run the jam, I can actually participate. So
Oh, that'd be great. Man. Yeah,
that's my goal. That's my.
I'm going to take this time. I'm going to take this time that that we're going to have a lot of time to ourselves now, and I'm going to take this time to learn how to start. I don't know, putting stuff down on the computer because I really don't know. I can. It's an opportunity to start recording and just doing some stuff, and it's getting my head around computers and stuff like that. It's about time I got something down. I've playing all these years, man, and just improvising all these years as well, and just not putting anything down. It's getting really close to that time where I should be doing something.
Yeah. I think. Sorry, you go.
Just something personal for myself that I've got.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Cool. Because I really think that the time now is you can reevaluate, take a step back of keep repeating the same thing you're doing and maybe learn new concepts. I've been learning some Alan Holdsworth chords I've been meaning to get to for years, but now's the time. Are they useful? I don't know.
I'm a drummer, but I've pretty well mastered C and A minor.
Hey, Ange. How you going, Ange?
Hey, Ange.
Yeah, I've always been an improvised player, man, and play by ear, so I don't really know my structures very well at all. I've never really dived into that side of things. I'm not sure if I really got time to do that anymore, but I'd really like to know a bit more about it. But again, times even with all this time we're going to have on our hands now, at times that's going to take a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
but really,
to me, as you're one of those players I was just talking about a bit earlier about, Eddie Kappa. Just feel good ear, listening, feeling musician, and that's what makes you so outstanding as a musician, is your ability to be able to listen and feel the music. And a lot of people can't do that, man. So you've got a gift. You have a gift, man.
Appreciate
that. Absolutely.
I can't wait to get back down there with you boys.
Yeah, come and have a hit.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's the last 10 years I've been playing, and every weekend almost, and it's a really strange time, isn't it? It's just really.
And what about your partner? Is she obviously all her gigs have been saddled up as well? So
yeah,
how is she coping with not having or obviously no income with that? But is there any other?
Yeah, it's for her as well, the same as me. It's she just likes. I mean, she's working as well. She's a nurse, so she's
on the front line. Wow.
She's on the front line. She runs a practice.
Oh,
Hey, yeah, man.
So she's working
Computer
every
turned
day.
itself
But
off.
like us, it's like me. She just loves being on stage, loves performing, loves interacting. That's what it's about for her and I.
Mate,
Yep.
big love for Nikki, dude. What she
Yeah,
does. You.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
If she's front line, tell her she's our hero.
yeah.
I'll do that. She's out there every day, and she's like I said, she runs the practice, so she's right in the thick of it.
Brave
Hey, I
people,
want to
and
say
we love
too,
them.
as a brother, you're one of the best guitar players I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.
Really.
Awesome, man.
Because of your feel and your listening, man. Well, you can learn to play guitar as great as you possibly can, but the greatest guitarists to me are the people that listen and feel, and you're definitely one of them, Az.
I appreciate that, lads. You guys. I say the same things about my heroes, Jimi Hendrix and Van Halen and Satriani. Those types of guys.
Yeah.
I've got them to thank for them giving us their music, and Jimi Hendrix, man. He's for me. He's the god. He's the king. He's what gave me my ear and my feel, and really can't love his music.
Well, I think you said it, Doug DeJong. Didn't you make the call once that we're all standing on the shoulders of people before us?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, that's what inspires us as those people. So, yeah. Sorry, Peter.
No, mate, that's fine. There's some great documentaries out on Jimi Hendrix. I watched. I'm just flogging Netflix and like everyone else is it. I watched the film.
I've got
On the boat, mate. On the boat.
No, I can't do the boat.
That's called Wetflix, mate. Wetflix.
Wetflix.
I watched a brilliant one on Netflix the other night on Joe Cocker. Crikey, what a brilliant career that guy had! And it's after about, and this is just an observation of somebody my age, but after about 1989, the music scene changed a lot. And because I grew up in that area, I know just about every song back to front. And a lot of them are fabulous songs and still fabulous today. And this is what's really cool about the jams that we have, is we come along and we play some of this stuff and it's just sensational. And, like you say, Tony, Ed...
hey, Jeff. Sorry.
He does some, B.B. King stuff that is just beautiful. I can hear B.B. King in his guitar.
Oh, mate, he's sensational. Sensational.
Yeah.
But, what do we... yeah, sorry, Doug, away you go.
No, I was just going to say, Jeff Ahern, I've just sent you a link there, man. I know you're watching there. There might be a 7-second delay. Okay, man.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Man.
Thanks, man. See you soon.
Love you, brother.
Take it easy, guys.
Cheers.
And who we still got there? Will, you still there, mate? Oh, you smoke. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Put it out.
He's gone. He's put. Oh, he's drinking and smoking. We've got rock stars going. Yeah. Oh, he's rock and roll. Okay, so if anyone else would like to drop in, please, there's the link in the feed. Scroll up. And so, Jeff, I've just sent you a link. Please message Tony. Tony, have you watching the board there? Yep. Cool.
Yep.
So, device not connected. Okay, as is going there. Here we go. And so what, when all this is done and dusted, what new things can we expect from the jam? Or is it just going to be to get back to what you did best?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the reason the Gold Coast Muso's Jam has lasted 5.5 years is that we focus on the community. And we try to encourage people to bond together, network, create, just That'll be
Good
the
on you,
day.
Chris.
That'll be the day, Chris. Just focus on the community. Keep the jam going. Giving people the opportunity to play. You know, like Peter said earlier, there's a lot of retired musicians that still want to get out there and play. And this, I think that the jam is probably the best and only opportunity for them to do that. And when you get the likes of yourself, Doug De Jong and Doug Mars and Steve, you know, great
Kevy
players.
G, man.
Kevy G, yeah, the Jeff Ahern. Look, when you get really,
Sheldon.
really great players,
Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Andrew Fitzpatrick, man. Andrew's awesome.
Oh, what a monster he is! And just champion guy. I mean, that's what I love about our community is that they're beautiful people. Anyone that comes along that doesn't really fit in doesn't have to be told not to come back or that they're not really, you know, fitting in or whatever. They know themselves. If they don't fit into the Jamley, they just move on. And, you know, that's a good thing, I suppose, because I can be a bit of a cranky bastard at times, and, you know, but what it all comes down to is you come into our jam and you disrespect our Jamley, I'll go for your throat, seriously.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. That's fair
And,
enough. Well, we got Les coming in too. Here's Les.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, Les.
There you go,
Les.
brother.
How are you, mate?
Cool. Hey, Les.
Yeah, Les.
What's happening?
I know we think we got audio.
I
in
hear
here.
you, man.
Hey, Tone.
Oh,
How
there
you
we
going,
go.
man?
There you go.
How you going, mate?
Can't you hear me?
I think you're on
Let's have a look
daylight
here.
saving here, man. It's like an hour delay.
You all right now?
Yeah, all
What's been
good.
happening, boys?
Just battling
Wow.
through, Les. Trying to,
You know us drummers, mate. We're always fine.
Mate, we're very fortunate that Doug De Jong is so proactive in this area that he has helped us put something together so that we can stay in contact with our Jamley and our friends. And you know, like somebody thought it was maybe there might be some playing happening. But it is like a talkback radio show, I suppose, and it's about discussing where we're at, what our plans are, and how things are going. So, yeah, we're all sort of doing something constructive thanks to Doug and his technology and his drive to make it happen.
So if we thank you very much for that. So Les, what was the last gig you did? There's Les, come in over and out the window. Cool.
He's a drummer, mate. He's there.
Take your time, Les.
Whatever you do it loud.
When was your last gig, Les?
He's gone. All right, next. All right, cool. So,
Dougie, what about Dougie Marsham? What's he been doing?
Sitting around playing my guitar,
Okay.
Yeah, the
learning the cowbell.
he's still drinking.
I'm still working on the calluses on my elbows. Look out, Doug De Jong. I'll think I'm the Doug.
You're gonna let him play behind your head, brother.
I can do that. That's old. It's old hat.
Oh.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Come and join us, Carol.
More cowbell.
Cowbell, yeah.
Good girl. Good girl.
She
Hey,
can.
Carol,
What a lovely lady. We'll
I'm
keep
gonna
her.
hug the crap out of you when I see you next.
She's a keeper.
Certainly is.
Hey, Les.
Yeah. You're back, Les.
One more time.
One more time.
A few.
That's all right. That's cool. And so, when was your last gig?
That's all right. It's all good now.
When was your last gig?
Esk with Mick.
Is that next to Key?
We went up for that weekend.
Is
Up at Esk with Mick.
yeah? Is that next to Key? Esky? No, it was a bad joke. Anyway, that's cool.
Esk Canty, I'm up here.
That was terrible.
Oh well, it's really bad when there's a delay. I'll have to remember that next time. All right, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Carol.
Probably after a few days.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
Hey, good to see you guys.
Good to
Hello.
see you.
After a few days.
Hi.
And so, Carol, how you going, Carol? What have you been up to? You've been working hard?
Working, and working.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And
So you
nothing
still.
else. Absolutely nothing else.
Oh, that's good. You've been working during
Hey, there we go.
lockdown.
Yes,
Yeah.
working during lockdown.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And I was going to say, and how have you been keeping Tony in check? Has he been good?
Does anyone ever do that?
Probably not. You're a good lady.
More wine.
So what's
Yeah.
one thing you miss about the jam,
Yes.
Carol? What?
All the people. Really miss all the people so much. And the companionship, the camaraderie, the support, the love, the laughs. I miss you all so much.
We do have a good laugh
Incredible.
too, don't we?
And my hugs.
Yes. And Steve's
Yeah.
hugs, definitely.
He's a good hugger, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, Pete loves that. Yeah.
Oh dear.
And so who we got here? I'm just seeing if someone else is trying to connect in, and no. So just reminding, this is completely interactive. So if you got any questions, or if you do want to jump in, please type in the feed, and I should see it in about 7 seconds. More importantly, it might be 14 because it'll be 7 seconds by the time you hear my voice and by the time I get it back. But yeah, so please put something in there. I'll just post the link again. Post the link. So all you have to do is click on the link, and it'll come backstage, and it will get you on to say hello. So, what else? Has anyone bought in new guitars before we got locked down? No. All right. Next question. All right.
Mate, I've already got
This is my
17.
list.
How many do you need?
No.
Oh,
Fair enough. Oh, Pete, you got one. That looks like an oar for your boat, mate.
Yeah. I
Let's-
took it off the boat.
Okay, let's play something, Pete. You want to play something?
Well,
Here we go. Solo.
What do you hit with that, Pete?
He's
Hey?
singing those 3 chords.
What do you hit with that?
Great.
Wow.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Nicky.
Hey, Nikki.
Oh,
that'll do.
That's
Nice.
it,
Very
man. Next
good.
time you're playing guitar and I'm playing drums.
That's
oh,
it.
Les. You're like Houdini, Les. You keep disappearing, mate.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
We got marvelous connections out here in the sticks.
Right, where are you?
That's what happens when you join the new satellite NBN. It works so well.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
it's out towards Zimbabwe. Not far from Dave's shed.
Yeah, right. Cool. Very good. Very good. So, Nikki, if you're watching, please click on the link and join in. If you're there, Nikki, please click on the link. It's been published. What did you say? Why hello? There we go. Why hello? There you
Hey,
go.
Nikki.
I have a
So,
question for you. I have a question for you, guitarists.
Yeah.
Eski. Oh, there we go.
Put it
Someone
down,
got my
Pete.
joke. Yay! Yay!
Hey,
Timing, Aaron.
It's a guitar player, mate, not a drummer.
Go, Pete.
My question is this: all through my life, I've loved some of the vintage guitars, and I've got a little collection myself, not of vintage stuff, but I particularly love the Gibson Hummingbird, and I've always wanted one, never been able to afford one. Bloke next door had one, and he sold it to somebody else, but they were just absolutely beautiful guitars. And my thoughts were that because they were of that era, you know, the original Strats and that sort of thing, that they were the best you could get. But what I see with the technology these days is that some of the sound you guys are getting out of some of these guitars that were just made like yesterday are absolutely fantastic. So is there a new sort of, is my observation relevant, or can you almost turn it around and say the old ones are actually old sound and the newer guitars are the better sound, full stop?
No, I won't agree with that.
Okay.
For me, man, like I'm a part-time luthier. I've made a lot of guitars. I've mucked around with a lot of stuff, and I modify everything I own, apart from the signature models. I won't touch those. For me, man, all your tone comes from these things. That's the secret.
Okay.
So, I own 17, probably 20 guitars. All of them have different pickups, different wood material, different scale lengths, different fret. They're all different. No two are the same. And yet, when I play one, it sounds like me.
Okay. Yep.
Same with Doug. And Doug Marsden, man, same deal. You can give him anything, he'll sound like Doug Marsden.
Yeah,
the reason
unfortunately.
Is that, mate, there's nothing wrong with that, buddy. Man, you are an amazing guitar player.
No,
Never
thanks,
put yourself
Steve.
down.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
And so,
Hell yeah.
for me, everything comes from here.
Totally agree.
Look, man, Doug knows that, probably 20-something years ago, I started to make guitars, and for me was to make one guitar a musician could use for every genre of music. I did end up doing that. I still own it. Unfortunately, you guys haven't seen it yet.
Bring it.
A lot at the jam because it currently needs refretting, but that's my baby.
He'll be back in a minute.
It has a whole bunch of different pickup
Hold it up again, Steve.
configurations.
Hold it up
Hold
against.
it up again.
You name
Hold it
it,
up.
and it's one
Hey,
guitar.
Hold it up
For
again,
everything.
Steve. Steve, hold it up again.
So that's the guitar, man. That's it.
Cool.
Very
There we go.
good.
We got.
So for me, man, I made one guitar that you only need to play. You don't have to carry 4 guitars to play a whole gig with. And and for me, man, minimalizing. I don't need 500 fucking pedals on a pedal board. Realistically, you should only need the least amount possible. And it's a guitar, fingers, amplifier.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
I guess.
Dave.
How you going, Dave? I just.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey, what have you been up to,
happy
Dave?
birthday, brother.
Yeah, happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
yesterday birthday.
All right. How old are you now?
I'm
Not sure.
40. Let's go 40-ish.
Oh, yeah, cool.
29.
Yeah.
Hang on, be great.
Very good. Very good. Very good. But
So we're just, yep.
I was just going to answer Pete's question. Yeah, that I think as I've gotten older about choosing guitars, there's this old cliche thing. The guitar chooses you, and I think, like, it resonates with me. It's funny. Steve Vai tells this story about Eddie Van Halen using his guitar and his rig, and it still sounded like Eddie Van Halen. So what Steve was saying, it comes from here. But it's funny, I've got a truckload of guitars as well. There's probably a few up there you can see. But that orange Strat there, like, I don't know, nothing else responds like it. And it's only one of a kind. I actually got a 50th anniversary Strat built and assembled, blah, 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 thinking it was going to be amazing. But it is, don't get me wrong, it is. But it just doesn't sound the same, like there's different nuances. Yeah, but in today's, what's that?
Steve Vai said one thing. It's about familiarity, and that's
Right.
why he uses basically the same thing all the time. So, same with your Strat, man. You're so familiar with it that it's like second nature. It becomes a part of your body. It's an extension of your body.
Yeah,
So when you pick anything else up, because I know you struggle playing Les Pauls,
yeah.
and I did
Yeah.
too when I first bought one. I hated it, and
I still love it. I still love them, but yeah.
Well, same here, man. I love Les Pauls, and the thing is that I bought one because my heroes play them.
Mm.
And when I bought it, I thought, man, this thing is crap, because I'm not
Fair
used to it. I wasn't used to it. But the problem was that once I learned to make friends with it, I find it really hard to get back to playing Strat type guitars. I struggle big time with it. So
Yeah.
I think familiarity is a really big deal because it's all about muscle memory. So you start changing scale lengths, even fret sizes, how high the strings are off the actual guitar body, which Les Paul is quite high compared to a Strat. So
Right.
all this stuff makes it difficult to play. And you know, man, just out of it not long ago when you did a video deal with Dave Griffiths, he blew you away about how he could play 5 guitars with 5 different tunings on slide. Like that is mind blowing. And and we're just talking about playing the difference between a Strat and a Les Paul. We're nowhere compared to what he's doing.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Well, I'm sorry, I'm just sorting out Nikki. If you're watching, just log in. You'll come into the backstage, and then we've got to go. But Dave, do you want to say anything? Because we got a hot seat. We've got to keep it going. We've got some people in the back.
Yeah,
Any questions, Dave?
in the background, and yeah, it's a shame what's going on now with not being able to play. Like, I feel you guys, your passion. I can actually feel that.
Awesome.
Thanks,
and there's not really much we can do at the moment. So Amy and I have sort of been continually writing for the BAME. So we're constantly writing new stuff. We just almost finished another one last night. But it's not the same as like jam with you guys. Like the Gold Coast Jam is it's awesome. It's full on. We can't get enough of it. We hope when it's back on to be there every single week without fail.
Yeah, right.
Hey, man, we love you guys too, brother. Respect is mutual.
Hi,
Thanks, guys. It's awesome. Definitely, that's for sure. I think we're all a bit lost at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
So that's
All
a shame.
Well, thanks, Dave. I'll just rotate the seat, and I'll see you again shortly, sir.
Yep, no worries.
I'm happy to rotate, Jug, if you've got people that want to.
Okay, there we go.
Hey,
Nikki. How are you?
Hello, everybody.
And
Good to see ya.
We got anyone else here? So, how are you, Nick? Are you going well?
I'm bloody great.
So, we got told you're a nurse. You're working on the front line, right?
Yeah, no, it's not pleasurable out there.
Right. Okay.
You'd
Yeah,
rather be
well-
singing, hey?
Sorry, we got a delay there. Hello,
Sorry,
hello.
it's cutting.
You want to go, Steve? Go, Steve.
I just said to Nikki, I said, you'd rather be singing, hey?
Sorry, I can't hear you guys.
That's all right. Just it looks like you're in a Disney movie called Frozen. Just like keeps like. Yeah, cool.
She's got NBN.
All right. Well, that's cool. Well, thanks for jumping on, and we might. Does everyone want to say a couple of last words? Because we're going to do like an hour, and we'll probably do this again very soon. So,
Don't know, Nikki, but thank you for your work. If you're doing nursing work, we love you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Hell yes.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
Thank
so, anyone else want to say anything else before we wrap it up?
No,
Thank you,
just
Doug. Thank you, Doug, for doing it.
No, that's all right, man.
Exactly.
That's all right.
thank you, mate, for making this happen, mate.
That's cool.
Your drive and your knowledge of technology and that is far beyond anything I could ever produce or even begin to start to do. So I just can't thank you enough, mate, for giving us this opportunity to talk to everyone and
All right. Thank you very much for that.
feel connected again.
Awesome.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. That's all right.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for that. And
Future
we'll see-
superstar.
yeah, well, I'll see you all again next time. So everyone wave in sync, and then I'll hit end
Yeah.
broadcast.
I'm going to go and learn some more chords.
Bye.
Okay. See you.
Don't bother.
Hey, guys.
See you, Pete. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.